I am so glad to be here. Happy Tuesday. Let me pull up my phone so I can read your comments. So I have been quilting. This is really the first serious quilting I've done. I machine quilted a quilt and I pieced a quilt, and I'm very excited to be back to work in my studio. It was too long. Five months was way too long to be without quilting. And I just started putting borders on my balloon quilt. That's why I was a little late coming. I lost track of time. Let's see where my comments are.
I am so glad to be here. Happy Tuesday.
Okay. Stop. I do not want to hear that. Okay, hello. I can read your comments now. So leave me a comment so I know that they're working, because I have my phone up and ready to go. And this is always more fun if it's a conversation. So, hello. It is a beautiful day where I am. I live north of New York City, and it is just gorgeous here. I have we're down to the mid 70s today. It's been up near 80, and it's just been beautiful. I know folks in the Carolinas have been cold recently, which is funny because it's so much warmer up here. But it's just nice to have the windows open and the ceiling fan running and to be quilting. It was a little warm with my with a quilt on my lap while I was quilting, but I'm not going to complain at all because it was just so beautiful. So let me see the chat. Oh, I do have comments. Hello. Hello from Northwest Mississippi and Maryland. It's good to see you all. I think on Facebook, these are captioned. How weird is that? Because I'm looking on Facebook. And I'm not captioning it. That's one of those AI things that's going on. I emailed my husband or texted my husband last week while I was away. I was reading the articles about all this AI stuff going on. I'm like, I don't think I understand what AI is. And he tried to explain it to me, and it didn't work. So I don't know. 2 new dogwood trees planted today in Maryland. Oh, how beautiful. The warm is back. It's just beautiful. Oh, the warm is back in the Carolinas. I think that's Janet. I'm so happy because my sister was on vacation last week in the Carolinas on a beach house and froze because it was too cold to go. But where I was at her house, taking care of mom and her house and mom, my sister's house, and my sister's dog while my sister was away, I was in the 80s. So kind of irony, but she had a great vacation, and I had a good week away with my mom. So what have I done since I got home? Since I got home, I finished quilting this quilt. This quilt is called Picnic Patch. It's just sitting over top of my capri right now because I just finished it last night and we'll bind it later on today. It's one of the wedding quilts I'm behind on. So I am a designer of cutie quilts, and cutie quilts are made using 16 fat eighths. Now, there are 16 fat eighths that make up the sashing in this, and then there's yardage for the blocks and border, and then there's small yardage for the cornerstones, and that's it. And this quilt is my standard wedding quilt, and I'm several weddings behind because I've been sick. For those who are new, I was down with COVID for months, but I'm perfect now. Let's see more comments. It's hot in Texas. I believe you. I believe you. I think it's always hot in Texas. Missouri is lovely, and a pool is 80 degrees. It's a little too cool to swim here still. I don't think any of the waters are warm enough, because we do get cold. So this quilt is called Picnic Patch. The pattern is available on my website. And while I am a cutie quilt designer, I did not design this quilt. I'm kind of mad about that. This is one of the quilts I wish I had designed, but I didn't. There's a couple out there, but this, I've probably made 50 of these quilts, if not more. I love making it. I love quilting it. I love giving it. It's just a beautiful, beautiful quilt. So if you've been following along with the feather class, the feather quilt along that I have on Wednesday nights in New York on YouTube and on Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio Facebook group, last week we did feathered wreaths that were designed like this. So traditional feathered wreaths. tomorrow night, we're going to do feathered wreaths that are flexible. So it's a feathered wreath, but the feathers will go all the way out into the edge of the square. And I have some pre-recorded video for that. I do not video live online because I don't trust technology. It's just not fair. It doesn't work that well. Can I design a quilt for you? I'm not sure whose comment that is. Let me see. Oh, that's Terry. No, Terry, I can't. And for those of you who don't know, Terry's my dear, dear friend, and she'll take that very well. No, you can't design a quilt for me. On here, it just says that it's Facebook. It doesn't have a username. I have to look on my phone. But I was guessing that was Terry. Now, you probably don't know that I'm looking at myself while I'm talking, and all I can see right now is all the gray hair that popped out while I was sick this winter. And that's okay. I'm a grandma. My oldest is my oldest grandchild is 9.5 years old. I'm fine to be gray. But I take a neighbor grocery shopping, and apparently the sun hit, and he was trying to find a way. The sun hit my hair while I was driving, and he was trying to find a way to ask me if I'd colored my hair. And I'm like, no, my kids did it for me. This is my kids. But I'm fine with it. So let's see. So this quilt, I will put more details in an article about it on my blog. I don't know if many of you know that I have a blog. It's at the bottom of my website. Right when the pandemic began, the blog that I started in 2006 was deemed not suitable for Facebook. So I had to give up my old blog. And now it's just at the bottom of my website with recent articles. But I will have this in there once it's done. I'll take some glamour shots tomorrow and talk about it. But if you are interested, follow along the Feather Along. And I encourage you to buy the Feather class. I even put it on sale for you. I do a sale every year for my birthday, and my birthday month is May, so it's till the end of May that you get a discount on the Feather class, and also a discount on, it's called Machine Quilted Feathers, Quilting Essentials, Machine Quilted Feathers. And the other is called As the Bobbin Turns. It's a subscription where you get videos that you don't get anywhere else. So I encourage you to follow along with the Feather class that I talk about live tomorrow night, so that you can add quilting like this to your skill set. I was not a natural featherer. I cried over feathers. So be sure to tune in on Wednesday nights or watch it later if you have to, because some people have, I don't know, jobs or lives that they can't tune in exactly when I go live. And I know it's over the dinner hour in the West Coast, and I know it's early in the morning in Australia. So just tune in and talk and see what's going on with feathers. But I do encourage you to work through the Feather class. Step by step by step, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. You can ask questions live on the videos on Wednesday nights, but you can also post questions in Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio Facebook group. The reason I don't have I don't have questions in the class, it's a tax reason. In certain countries, if it is an interactive class, it's a different tax thing, and I don't want to have to track tax in various African countries. I'm just me working here, so I try to keep things as simple as possible. So that's why I put the questions in my Facebook group instead of on the class. So that's this class. This, by the way, this feather here in the border we talked about in lesson 2. So this was absolutely lovely. I had so much fun quilting this while listening to some good books. Let's see. What is the world's? Let's put this up here. What is the world's most perfect quilting motif? And that has to be a Terry Lucas question as well, because the world's most perfect machine quilting motif is ribbon candy, and there is ribbon candy all over this quilt, and it's in all of these 1-inch sashings, which is why I love quilting it, because I love quilting ribbon candy. It's fun and very satisfying. So that is the one quilt I've been doing. The other quilt I've been working on, let's hide that comment, is the new color block quilt that I just put on the wall behind me really quickly, so it's probably crooked. I just got one border sewn on, and I have the other ones cut and ready to go. So that quilt will be done in a half hour. Ribbon candy on a Debbie Brown quilt? I'm sure that's never been heard of before. Nope, wrong one. How about this one? Exactly. So I also designed color blocks. Color blocks are made with scraps. So that is a scrap quilt. I've designed about 100 scrap quilts that start with a 16 patch. So I picked out my balloon colors. Uh, I only had 4 colors of made blocks. I had to quickly make a purple block this morning. I didn't have purple or yellow, and those are the colors I have least of in my stash. So that makes sense. I typically don't even wear yellow. I did buy a new dress to wear. It's a short sleeve little light dress to wear in the summertime because I got new yellow shoes that I needed something to match. Yes, I always do buy the shoes first and get the clothes to match. It's the way I go. So I pulled out my balloons and my blocks, quickly made up the balloons. This pattern is free in Color Blocks Goes Wild. I know it's not a critter, but it's a bonus quilt in the critter in the critter quilt Color Blocks 2023. So the pattern is free in there, and I wanted to talk to you about how I'm going to quilt it because I did not make the first one of these quilts. I think Becky beat me to it. I think it was Becky Bunky who made one of these while I was away. I designed this on a computer at my sister's kitchen table and published it and sent it to you. And before I could get home to my sewing room and my sewing machine, Becky had already made the quilt. So yay, Becky. And she had a great idea. She used rickrack for the balloon strings. And I think that was fabulous. I had planned on machine quilting my balloon strings with some black thread, but I like the idea of rickrack. I don't have any rickrack, but couching is out there. I don't know if any of you couch where you can like work with yarn, because that would work great on here as well. That's true. Balloons are for the party animals. I put this out as a quilt just to celebrate that Color Blocks is restarting, and my husband has a birthday this week, so this will be a bed runner that will get placed on our bed on his birthday. I'm not sure, maybe the table. I don't know. I just thought it would be fun because I have a birthday boy this week. He just happens to be a grown-up boy. It's so weird. I'm married to a grandpa who's like in AARP. How does that happen? I started dating him when he was 17 and now he's like mature, shall I say. But happy birthday to my husband. Now, I planned on doing balloon strings with little kinks in them. So balloons with a little loop. So in black machine quilting coming down from each balloon. And then my original plan for the quilting of it was just to quilt streamers. So balloons and streamers and to work with the celebration. But I also thought about making all of the balloon strings come from a point in the center of the quilt and have them go out diagonally to each of the balloons. And then continue that. So like making the balloon strings come out like this and then continuing that quilt out from a point. But I'm not sure. I think I might just do the streamers. So I did choose fabric that says happy on it for my borders. And that's on my website available. I have black fabric with white that has white happy written across it. And I have white fabric with black happy written across it. I think the black fabric, the white fabric is right there next to the pink. And I will probably put that on the back of the quilt. Because whether you're celebrating a birthday or just that I woke up on another Tuesday and it's a good day, it's all reason to celebrate. But have you given thought to the quilting? What do you think about working between the strings coming out in a line, like somebody all the way down here holding the balloons, and having them all come out from a center point, the strings, or having the and then having the quilting go that way, or having streamers go through it? Do you have any thoughts? I'll let you vote. Do you like the streamers or do you like the angles? And I know there's a lag, so I'll wait until this comes up, until the comments come back. Well, I think if no comments come back, I think what I'm going to do is do streamers through it. And I might do streamers in different color thread. Ooh, just thought of that one. Oh, Hillary, I'm sorry. You just came in with angles. If I did the streamers, I could do streamers in all different colors. Is it going to be a bed runner or a bigger quilt? The quilt itself, let's see, I did print it out, so I encourage you to go. These are made in a downloadable, printable PDF that you can just download and print out, on the back of whatever other paper you might have. The quilt itself is 26 by 54. That's all the bigger I'm going to make it. I think different colored streamers, and I just thought of that. That's why I like talking to you about it. Quilting is not a private thing. It's something we do at home alone quite often, but it's a group thing. Just talking about it makes better ideas come up. Let's see. And I'm just checking on here. Hi, Sherry. Just getting some names. Oh, and Tara's in the house. And Janet, the quilt is, let's see. Where's the question? So is this going to be a bed runner or a bigger quilt? And 26 by 54 isn't really a full-size bed runner on a queen bed, but it'll work, just to put that at the foot of the bed, and then I can put it on for dinner. My table is only maybe 48 inches. It's just a little table for the two of us. I used to have a great big table that seated 14 people in the breakfast nook in my kitchen. But on any given day when I had teenagers living here, mine, I'd have 14 people for dinner because they traveled in herds. So as soon as the kids moved out, I actually gave the table away to my kid when he moved out. I bought a small table. So this would be an over the edge runner for my table because I have a very small table. Let's see. Different colored streamers. I'm thinking just pulling out different threads and just doing a little line of loops or a little wavy line coming all down. That could be really fun. And I like doing crazy things like that on little quilts because it's not as big of a commitment. And if I hate it, there's not as much to take out. So I will definitely video this and I will let you know when it goes on the website. Let's see what else. If you couch, please record. I will, most definitely. Now, couching is something that my Handy Quilter long arms, there's a couching foot on it that you use a top thread, a bottom thread, and then you stitch a piece of yarn between them. So the yarn goes through a hole of the couching foot, and then your needle and bobbin thread meet and stitch it down. I don't have a video up on couching. Actually, I do. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me find one. Because I forgot. I'm streaming on software right now. I can pull up a video. Let me find some couching. I don't know if it's downloaded. Let me see what's up. The joy of having years worth of video saved on your computer. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm looking for this. Is it on here? It must be back a year. I remember I filmed this on an Easter Sunday. I'm not going to find it. I'm just not finding it right now. I apologize, but we can talk about that in the future. Let's see. Love the balloons. Me too. Thank you. I'm just so dang happy every day to be up and moving and doing amazing things, like breathing and walking and doing the dishes and hanging laundry, crazy stuff, that it just felt like a need to celebrate. I think this would be a great wall hanging you can hang as a pennant banner with the birthday person's name. That would be fun. I'm actually thinking of doing a pennant with cuties, so stay tuned for that, but I think that would be great. What's my favorite color block quilt so far? Oh, there's so many. I've kept one for myself that I use and wash. The rest of them I've kept, pristine in case there's a book coming out later. So I do have all of these samples. But the one that I've kept and used for me is the one that is in Make Quilts While the Sun Shine, and it's a pineapple. It's a yellow pineapple, green spikes on a hot pink background. And that quilt just is mine. That quilt is never going to leave me. I love that quilt. So these have been really fun. I'm so sorry I couldn't find the, I know I have the video. I'm going to take a real quick look again to see where the couching video is. I'd love to be able to show that to you right now. And maybe it's even earlier. Nope. Let's go back to 2021. I'm sorry, a very exciting video of you listening to me look for a video. Oh, it might be here. If it is downloaded. Let me find it. It is not downloaded, so we'll just chat for a second while it's downloading. Okay, so I have this going. Now, my plan on what to do, because I really want to get back to work and I'm home for the summer, is to really bring color blocks back. I want to finish up 2022. I want to finish up 2021. Warning, when I finish them up, I will close them and it will be paid to buy them. So while they're unfinished, they're free. And if you get it when it's free, you never have to pay for it. So if you haven't registered for those classes yet, do so now while they're free. I have one quilt left to do for 2021. I have to video it. And then I have a bunch left to video of the quilting. All the tops are made, but I have to do all the videos. I already have a quilt for June designed, but I don't want to throw too much at you. So what I was thinking of doing was maybe only doing June, July, August, September, October, November, December, maybe only doing 8 quilts this year, and then throw in a couple bonuses and filling it in with older videos, with videos from the last couple years, just so to always give you something new to look at. Let's see how the download's going. And it's only halfway. So I do have critters. Now, some of the critters require applique. And one fun thing that I do with applique is it's machine applique, is I use Craftex. And it is paper, but it's fabric, but it's paper. And so you don't have to worry about the edges fraying. You can just raw edge applique it. And that's what I plan on putting on these quilts. Let's see. Someone asked me what my favorite color block so far was, and I would ask you what your favorite color block so far is, if you have one. Because I do like this one. And maybe I will post that in Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Studio when I find it. I'll edit it down. Less quilts per year would be great so you can get your UFOs done. That's what I was thinking. I know that I could overwhelm you, especially if I'm putting out a new feather class. The ones you have fit, let's see. So fewer quilts per year, because I know if I follow people, and I do, who have a lot of content, I always feel behind. And I don't want to give that feeling to anybody because you're never behind. Just do what you can do. Your favorite quilts are the ones you've finished. Your favorite color blocks are the ones that you've made and finished. I like that. I have some favorites that are still coming because I have a bunch more designed. And I have a bunch designed that I think will end up as baby quilts, like a whole baby quilt class, because I have a bunch designed. Not that you can't make baby quilts out of some of the smallers, but I have some specific quilts designed specifically as baby quilts. And maybe I'll just put that out as an expansion pack. Let's see. I think we're about there with the video. Give it a second. And we are on. So hold on. I will pull it up now. And I will share it with you. Let's go to my software and I will share my screen. And I will pull up the video. Okay, so I made a pillow for my husband. When we rebuilt our house, I made a Star Wars living room because I'm married to a Star Wars husband. And I made a pillow that says pew, 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 pew. And I made it all on my long arm. Now, I also have a stationary long arm that has a couching foot. So I did some applique here. And now I'm going to work with the couching. So these are the couching feet that come from Handy Quilter, and they work on my long arm and my stationary long arm. I know Bernina has a couching feet for home sewing machines, but I'm not sure what other brands do. Couching is really fun. I am using one of the 3 feet. They have small, medium, and large holes, depending on what size yarn. The most important thing about using the foot, the couching foot, is making sure that the needle is in the center of the hole. If the needle hits the plastic disc inside, of the foot, it's going to nick it and it will snag your yarn and it won't work very well. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring up my bobbin thread and I'm going to make a knot. Now I'm going to lift up my needle and I am going to push the yarn to make it go inside the next stitch. So I'm going to put my needle down, needle up, and there. That pulls the yarn through the hole of the foot. Yes, I do realize the handlebar was in the way. I apologize. If anyone ever wonders why I typically film on home sewing machines, this is why. So I now have 3 tails: bobbin, top, and yarn. So I need to start stitching. The best thing to do is to make sure that your yarn is going in the direction you want it to go and that you're not pulling it tight. Because if you pull it tight, you're going to pull it away from from the center of the foot, from the center of the hole. And that way you won't get the stitches on it. So here I can simply stitch down like so. I can actually use rulers if that's going to make me more comfortable. And I'm going to leave these tails because these tails are really hard to deal with. I'm going to tuck them in. They're just going to be hanging out there on the top of my fabric. So I'm going to tuck those in with a needle. And I am going to add the ruler base and stitch with rulers. So there, I've added my ruler base. I'm going to stitch up. Let me trim some of that off. And now I am using the tabs on the mini scallop ruler to make sure I hit this line that I've drawn on here. That feels so much better. And I'm going to make a knot. Going to leave long tails. And then I'm going to start again here. And I am going to stitch all of the rays on my pillow with this yarn. I'm going to pull this to the end. Look at that hot mess there with all of the tails. And let's go show you the finished pillow. There it is. And that's all done with couching. So that's one way that I could add these strings to the balloons. Let's come back and see if we got any new comments. There, I can see you again. So that was the couching video. If that didn't come out well, I can post that in my machine quilting studio Facebook group. I think it's Janet who liked the shooting star in December. I do too. That's the one I have left to finish for it. And I want to make it even bigger into a bedspread because I like it so much. But while I was searching for balloons this morning, I found out I have this many green blocks, which is probably about 100. So I'm trying to think of a quilt that I do have quilts that I can make with green blocks, but they might be coming. So look for more green quilts in the future. So that's what I have going on. There'll be new content this week in As the Bobbin Turns. There'll be new content. Hopefully I'll have the video content for this out by the end of the week. And then I can start backfilling and coming up with a new pattern in, once June hits. So that probably won't be out till next week. So I want to thank you for following along and for welcoming me back, even though I was not putting out any content for a while. So thanks for welcoming me back. It's great to be back, and we're going to celebrate and move forward and hopefully conquer the scraps in the sewing room. As I'm sewing, what I've been doing is whenever I have to get up to press something, whenever I have to get up to cut something, because I have I have to walk across the room for various things. I'm putting stuff away while I'm quilting. So hopefully I can start finding the sewing room. Isn't that everyone's goal? And then going through the all of my scraps to make color blocks. I have boxes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 boxes full of 2.5-inch squares. Now, these are not boxes like this. These are men's cowboy boot box sizes. And I have 6 of those full of color block squares. And then I also have a stack this high of already made color blocks. So I think I'm going to be doing color blocks for a while. I have the materials all set up over there in boxes. But I'm going to go finish this quilt, work on the binding on this one, and come back tomorrow night into Debbie Brown's Machine Quilting Facebook studio Facebook group, or see me on Debbie Brown Quilts at YouTube. If you haven't yet subscribed for my newsletter, go to DebbieBrownQuilts.com, scroll to the bottom and subscribe. I don't send out emails unless I have something new to tell you, like here's where new free stuff is. So keep in touch. I'll be back tomorrow night and we'll be quilting some more. Happy quilting, everyone, and I hope you're enjoying as beautiful a day as I am. Bye.